네, 안녕하세요. 펄린입니다. 네, welcome to class. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 안녕히 계세요, 안녕히 가세요. Right? We all know that this is actually bye-bye. So we all know it's actually goodbye. Okay, so actually 안녕히 가세요, 안녕히 계세요 어떻게 달라요? Okay, how is both 안녕히 계세요 and 안녕히 가세요 different? Okay, now first of all, we want to look into the stem. 안녕히 가세요 comes from 가다. Okay, 안녕히 가세요 comes from 가다, which also means to go. Okay, so 안녕히 가세요 here means to go. All right, so when we say to go, you're using 안녕히 가세요 to anyone who is leaving. Okay, it's always to the perspective of the person you are talking to. If the person you are talking to is leaving, 그럼 안녕히 가세요. If the person that you are talking to is staying, then you will say 안녕히 계세요. And 계세요 comes from the stem verb 계시다. And that means to stay. Or in sometimes say exist. Okay, she's there. All right. Is the teacher around? Okay, is the teacher in the area exists or staying? Okay, so 계시다 is the stem for 계세요. All right. And 계세요 means to stay. Therefore, you will use this when you are talking to someone who is not living and staying. Okay, 안녕히 계세요. All right, so let's use an example. In this case, 이 할아버지, okay, this grandpa here. Now he's leaving and the girls are staying, right? The girls are going to eat, continue eating. They're not going anywhere. And so the 할아버지, the grandpa here will say, 안녕히 계세요. 그렇죠? It's always to the perspective of the person that you are talking. If the person you are talking to is not living, 계세요. 네, 안녕히 계세요. However, if the person that you are talking to is living, in this case, these ladies here, what would they tell grandpa? They tell this grandpa, 안녕히 가세요, right? Bye-bye, 안녕히 가세요. Why? Because this grandpa is living. 맞아요. Okay, 그래서 안녕히 가세요. All right. Okay, so let's try. Okay, if this is the shop assistant, the shop owner, and this lady in blue. Right, what would the lady in blue say? 맞아요. 안녕히 계세요. Okay, because the shop assistant is not living. 그래서 안녕히 계세요. What would the shop assistant tell the lady? Hi, 맞아요. 안녕히 가세요. 가세요. Okay, 괜찮아요, 여러분? Okay, now let's try one more. What happens if both girls are leaving? Both of you guys are leaving, all right? It's a dinner and both of you guys finished your dinner and you guys are leaving. You're going to take a bus and she's going to go take a taxi. 그럼 뭐라고 할 거예요? 뭐라고 할 거예요? 그럼 in this case, in this blonde lady, well, she's going to talk to her friend and her friend is leaving. You should say, 그죠, 가세요. Right? Like I mentioned, it's always from the perspective of the person you are talking to. The person you are talking to is leaving, 그럼 가세요. In this case, what would this yellow lady say? Right, she's also telling her blonde friend, right? The blonde friend is also leaving, 그럼 she will also say, 맞아요. 안녕히 가세요. 안녕히 가세요. Okay, so in this case, both of them are leaving. 안녕히 가세요. Both will say 안녕히 가세요. Again, the point here, it doesn't matter whether I'm staying or I'm leaving. The point here is whether the person you are talking to is staying or leaving. If the person you are talking to is also leaving, both will just say 안녕히 가세요. 괜찮죠? So I'm going to share with you some other ways to say goodbye. Okay, so 안녕히 계세요, 안녕히 가세요 is the most fundamental, the most basic way. Okay, especially with people that you don't really know, it's the first time seeing them. For example, at the shop, you know, when you're leaving the restaurant, first time meeting friends, for example, 뭐 안녕히 계세요, 안녕히 가세요 is the best. It's the most basic one. However, in Korean, we also have other ways to say goodbye. Okay, so here are some other ways that Koreans will say goodbye. First of all, you can say 조심히 가세요. Again, 가세요 is to go. Okay, that's why it's also part of the bye-bye words that we use. However, 조심히 comes from 조심하다. 조심하다 means to be careful. Okay, to take precautions. Okay, so it's to be careful as you go, right? So it's kind of bye-bye, but please go well. Okay, please take your leave safely. In a sense, go safely. Okay, 조심히 가세요. 라고 할 수 있어요. Okay, so you can say 조심히 가세요, 조심히 가세요. Right, among your friends when you guys are leaving, and it's still polite. Okay, with the 세요, it's still polite. Yeah, 조심히 가세요. Of course, if it's impolite or you want to make it informal, 조심히 가. 조심히 가. Yeah, okay, so you can say 조심히 가세요. Alright, so here are some variations, okay, apart from 조심히 가세요. 조심히 들어가세요. 들어가세요, it means to go back. Yeah, so please go back safely. Okay, so 들어가세요. You can say that in 들어가세요. 조심히 들어가세요. You can also leave out the 조심 and just say 들어가세요. Yeah, go back, and it's a very nice place. Go back in that sense. All right, bye bye. Okay, 계속 들어가세요. Okay, or you can also say 잘 가요. Okay, 잘 가요. Go well. Okay, please take your leave well. Okay, go well. All right, so these are a few ways you can say bye-bye. Now, again, with the yo form, they all actually pretty polite. Okay, so of course, 조심히 가세요 is more polite than 잘 가요, but that doesn't make 잘 가요 impolite. Okay, all right, it kind of depends on what kind of situation you are in. Okay, so if it's just with your friends, then just drop the yo. 조심히 가. Okay, not say yo as well, but 조심히 가. 뭐 조심히 들어가. 들어가. 잘 가. So this is how you can say bye-bye. All right, the person who responds also has got a different set of bye-byes that you can say. For example, 갈게요. Okay, I'm leaving or I'm going. 갈게요. 또 봐요. Okay, 또 here means again. All right, again. Let's meet again. Okay, 또 봐요. 예, 갈게요. 또 봐요. Okay. You can also say 간다. All right, I'm leaving. Okay, 간다. 가. Okay, bye, go. 들어가. Go. Okay, so this is in fact actually the less formal setting kind of byes. Generally also a bit more friendlier. Okay, I was impolite, yes, because they don't have a yo, or even 간다 as an impolite speech. Okay, so generally with a more friendlier setting, you can use all of this. Okay, 그래서 갈게요. 또 봐요. 간다. 가. 들어가. So some of this kind of sentences. Yeah, I hope you learned something today, and I hope they are useful for you. All right, see you in the next class. 안녕히 가세요.